Hi artists, how we doing? Today we're gonna make a really fun special cupcake. I decided to make mine cute with some bright colors, a happy little set of eyes, and then I did even a little shadow and a table underneath of it. I'll show you some different ways that you can use either crayons, chalk pastels, oil pastels, whatever you have in your house. The most important part is to take your time, be neat, no scribble scrabble, really trying to stay in the lines and get creative with your details. So what kind of cupcake is it gonna be? We'll talk more about that as we watch our video. Have so much fun. I can't wait to see what you do. Let's get sweet. Hello artists. As you can see, we are going to be making a cupcake today. We're gonna have lots of fun, and as always, you can choose what you want to color with because some of you have shown me awesome art kits that you've gotten for the holidays. Bust them out. Maybe you want to try something new today, but as always, use what you have in your house to make art with. So for our cupcake, we're gonna start with two diagonal lines. They're only a slight diagonal. They could be straight, but I think it looks a little bit more interesting if it's not perfectly straight, but a little on an angle. Let's try it on this side. We're gonna make another little diagonal, but we're coming towards the middle this time, almost like if you were gonna make a letter V, but you don't actually finish it. You just do one little bit, one little bit. Now, cupcakes are round, right? They're not flat like a piece of paper, so we're gonna use a round smiley face kind of a line. So see how I went down a little bit, and then I'm gonna come up just a little bit on that side. Wow, we're using lots of different types of lines. We're using our diagonal, we're using our curved, and now let's bust out that zigzag, because cupcake holders are very interesting looking. They have little lines in them. All right, so we made a little zigzag line to connect it. Now, let's make our cupcake. Sometimes they kind of fold over the side, right? Like if you add too much of your cupcake mix, maybe it kind of bubbles over. They're soft, they're fluffy, so you might want to come out just a little bit and then make a rainbow. So I came out just a little bit, and now I'm gonna go ahead and make a rainbow. You can, again, be a little wiggly wobbly with it because this is dough. It's a spongy, sweet, soft cupcake. So here's our basic cupcake shape. What happens next? Well, you're the artist, that is your choice. If you want to add some icing or some sprinkles or maybe even some cookie pieces, I don't know, maybe it's a cupcake monster. This is your choice from here, what you want to do. Think about it. What are you going to do to this cupcake? What's it going to look like? Once you have some ideas, you can get started. I'm going to keep mine a cutesy little cupcake because that's what I am feeling today. But of course, yours can be anything you want. If you're making icing on your cupcake, then you have a few choices. Sometimes we spread it on really smooth along the top. Sometimes it's kind of a glob of icing. So when you go to make your icing, you can make it how you want, but I'm gonna kind of make it go up a little bit. You can even do a little swirly thing like that at the top. And I'm gonna come back down on the other side. You'll see where I'm going with this in a moment. So I just kind of made almost like a little copycat line of this. And then I kind of swirled it up like a little S. Then I came on the other side and just came down here. I'm gonna make a little bit through the middle here. So see how now it's looking like all these different swirls and layers? Remember last week we made copycat lines? I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna copy this line. I'm gonna put one on top and head down. Whoa, look at all those layers of icing. They can each be a different color. Maybe it's different tones of one color, like a light purple, medium purple, dark purple. You have so many choices from here. Maybe it has a cute little face. I think I'm gonna do that. Ooh, little cute eyes. I want mine to have eyelashes. I'm gonna make mine like little SpongeBob eyelashes. But for me, they're gonna be rainbow sprinkle eyelashes. How creative is that? Little rainbow sprinkle eyelashes here. Now, sometimes I've seen us make eyes where we have a cutesy little part not filled in. So maybe you want to do something like this inside of it and just fill in around it. Your choice. But from here on out, do your decorating. When you're done with your drawing, you can switch to Sharpie. and you can outline it. Sorry, maybe not Sharpie, you might have. When you're done, you can switch to any black marker and you can start to outline it. You can also at this time add more right with the Sharpie. So for example, I might not want to make 100 sprinkles and then outline the sprinkles. Seems like a pretty big waste of my time. So I'm just going to go ahead and outline everything I see first, and then at the end of it, decide if I want to add more. All right, we'll meet back in a little bit. Okay, so I'm done with my outlining. Notice how I didn't stay all the way on the pencil mark? Why? What can we do? Shh, the artist's secret. That's right, we're gonna use the artist's secret, and we're gonna take this eraser and we're gonna get rid of any of those pencil marks that didn't work out for us. Wow, that's why we call it the artist's secret. Take a look. You don't see anymore those lines that were messy and those parts where I didn't stay on it. I mean, if you look very close, of course you can, but for the most part, somebody's gonna look at this artwork and say, wow, no pencil marks, no mistakes. They just took a Sharpie and drew the whole thing without any mistakes. Shh, they don't need to know all of those little mistakes that we made because we took good care of it and we're ready to color. Before we do, if you want to add some interest to this, so details always make your artwork more interesting, I'm thinking about holding a cupcake in my hands with that little wrapper that they come in. And the little wrapper has a kind of zigzaggy texture to it. So I'm just gonna make lines coming from my zigzag line to the bottom. So from the zigzag line to the bottom, from the zigzag line to the bottom, and keep going. If they're on an angle, that's great too. They don't need to be perfectly straight. Oh, I love the way this is turning out. For the rest of this, I'm just gonna color it and see where it takes me. You're always welcome to make a little background for it. So maybe, where is this cupcake? Is it at someone's birthday party? Is it sitting in a bakery all neat on a table? Is the dog about to come in and eat it? So you can always add things behind. Maybe it has a baby friend cupcake. I'm so excited to see the choices that you made. Maybe there's a candle. Oh my goodness, all these ideas are coming to me. Have fun with it. Once you're done with your drawing, color it any way you want. I'm going to continue with some tips and tricks that you might want to use if you are trying out new art supplies today, or even if you're just experimenting with some things you have and want to try them out in a new way. Some of you have shown me pastels. You might have chalk pastels, you might have oil pastels. Quite a few of us have shown me that you got in that big art kit some oil pastels. So if that's you, the way that these work is kind of like a really greasy crayon. So you can color with them, right? And it looks like a normal crayon, but you could do two things. You can take your finger and just kind of blend it and smudge it out, which in itself looks pretty cool, right? But you can also take more than one color. Look at this. You can take more than one color. And when you put them next to each other, you can then also blend them, and look at that. If you don't have oil pastels, maybe that's something you want to ask for at the next birthday, holiday, something like that. And if you don't have oil pastels, chalk pastel or any kind of chalk at your house, that works well too. Same way, you can just kind of put it on. You can take a finger and you can just blend that out. How fun is that? All right, so now that we have a few tips and tricks, let's look at something you might want to do to decorate your cupcake. Notice how I didn't make any sprinkles on here yet. I do want sprinkles, but they're not on here yet. You can take a crayon, you can press pretty hard, not hard enough where you break it, but pretty hard, back and forth, to make little sprinkle shapes. I'm gonna show you how this doesn't work if they're really light. See how you already can barely see those just because they're so light? Well, it's gonna get worse in a moment because the next step might be to take a lighter color. I'm gonna switch up to a blue, and you can press pretty light on top of that, and voila, you can still see those sprinkles. So there's always something new and fun to try out to make your artwork really stand out. You can press harder to get some shadows, so maybe down here you want to press harder in some part of it and then lighter in another part. Look at that, it's gonna make it like a little shadow. So I'm gonna have fun coloring mine. I can't wait to see what yours turns out like. As always, take a picture of it when you're done, send it to me either on my email, mweber@plps.org, or you can post it on our Google Classroom, or you can post it on Seesaw, whichever one your class uses. Have so much fun, make it sweet, make it a treat, and I can't wait to see what you do.